Introducing LT Defense Tactical Gear, your ultimate solution for top-notch protection and performance in the field. Our armor bundles provide unmatched safety and comfort, while our battle belts and holsters ensure quick and easy access to your gear. Stay prepared for any situation with our high-quality medical supplies, designed to keep you ready for action at all times. Looking to enhance your skills? Our firearms training programs will take your proficiency to the next level. Trust LT Defense for all your tactical gear needs and gear up for success on the battlefield.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
The Bond of Six with Coach C. Attention, listeners. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by the hosts and DJs on this show are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the station or its affiliates. We're here to share different perspectives, spark conversations, and most importantly, have some fun along the way. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Let's dive in.
Aloha and hooyah! I'm Coach C. Welcome to Thriving and Surviving, a podcast series dedicated to supporting hurricane victims on their journey to recovery. Again, I'm Coach C, a certified life coach and a military veteran who has worked my way through some traumatic events. Alrighty, so today we're going to explore how to recognize and cope with disaster-related stress, as well as support ourselves and children through trauma and access some vital resources. All right. So the overview, we're going to start out with a devotional, as well as talk about recognizing the trauma, some stress reduction techniques, and also give those resources. So over here, the foundation of the Bond of Six is based on Hebrews chapter 10, verses 24 through 25. We should think about each other to see how we can encourage each other to show love and do good works. We must not quit meeting together as some are doing. No, we need to keep on encouraging each other. This becomes more and more important as you see the day getting closer. Let's take a moment to center ourselves and be present in this day. Thank you, Creator, for the space and those you have assigned to our journey. As we navigate the complexities of recovery, help us to find peace, just peace over our hearts, and as well as in guiding our thoughts. Help us to embrace those emotions we feel by acknowledging not only the pain, but also our hope. May we continue to unite. May we continue to find ways to seek help if needed so. We thank you so much for the space, and we thank you for the unity. We praise your name. In Jesus' holy name, amen. All right, as we consider our circumstances, it's just important to recognize when someone might be struggling with their mental health. It is very essential. It's the piece that we need so we can offer that support and help. And here are a couple of signs to look out for. And it's also important to note that individuals may experience these symptoms to various degrees. So not everyone will exhibit all of these signs, but it's definitely something to be mindful of. And it's completely normal to feel overwhelmed right now. You might be experiencing shock, fear, anxiety, sadness, or even numbness. These are all common responses to the trauma that's been endured. Remember, there's no right way to feel. Your emotions are valid. Oftentimes, people can shift from anger to happiness, so different mood swings, or you see people looking isolated, taking themselves away from groups. These could all be signs of how they're processing that trauma. Sometimes mental health problems can cause physical symptoms too, like headaches or stomach aches, even if there's no other clear reason for them. So look for the changes in appetite if people start losing weight or gaining weight, sleep disturbances, as well as being very fatigued, tired all the time. Some people can even feel like they're having heart attacks. So children can exhibit similar symptoms as well as others. So if you see a child's mood changing a lot, like going from happy to sad or angry very quickly, it could be a sign that something is bothering them. If they often talk about feeling sad, hopeless, or worthless, that could also be another sign. And separation anxiety, as well as crying or screaming more than usual, nightmares, they could be talking about nightmares, as well as having difficulties concentrating on things and regressing down to bedwetting again, thumb sucking, just a lot of things that they grew out of. So be mindful. Please pay attention to that. Just as you, as an adult, is processing the circumstances, children are also doing the same. So, other items to recognize in children or even adults too. If you see a child's mood, I'm sorry, apologies. If you notice your friend who used to do very well in school, they're struggling, or just losing interest in their studies or activities, that is definitely a sign of medical struggles and medical well being or mental well being. Pay attention if you notice your friends using drugs or alcohol more frequently, as that can be a way of trying to cope with emotional trauma. And again, if they're talking as though they want to hurt themselves or end their lives, take it seriously and seek help immediately. And remember, it's okay to be concerned about your friend's mental health. You don't have to solve their problems, but being there to listen and show that you care can make a huge difference. For myself, it's just getting the thoughts out and talking to someone can help me recenter and regroup and not focus on the challenges, but look for ways to improve my circumstance. So if you notice any of these signs or behaviors, approach your friend with care Lack of judgment, have that listening ear, and let them know you're there to listen and can support them. Again, we're not telling you to step in and be a specialist, but to listen and then encourage them to reach out and seek help. For instance, if it's a child, inform them to talk to a trusted adult like a parent, teacher, or school counselor who can all guide them to get the support that they need. And if you notice for yourself, if you're having persistent feelings of distress or hopelessness, or you feel like you're barely able to get through your daily responsibilities and activities, consult with a licensed mental health professional. Please remember these reactions are normal responses to an abnormal situation. You are processing a traumatic event. It's okay to seek help. It's okay to receive help. I can tell you for myself, when I experienced my first hurricane I went through, that was terrifying to me. But I didn't want to let others know or bother them with it. But those thoughts did keep, I say it kept me hostage from doing things on the beach, from going out to different places. I made people believe I was a homebody, but I really love being outside. I started getting depressed and I started doing things to help suppress those feelings. But it took my mom going visiting my mom, and she did notice some things that were different about me, how I was not being as outgoing, not laughing, staying inside. And she talked to me, she prayed with me, and I did seek help. It was a local counselor, and found my way back out doing the things that I wanted to do. But seek the help when it becomes too much for you to be able to change it. When it just those thoughts every day you're waking up with them, please seek the help. There are so many trained professionals out there. There are so many people who are going to be rooting for you. Alrighty. So after we come back from commercial, we'll be talking about different steps to help you reduce your stress.
Attention, all troops. Are you ready to stay connected with the latest news, entertainment, and information tailored for our armed services? Look no further than MBR.
Here at MBR, we're more than just a radio station. We're a lifeline for those who serve from the front lines to the home front. We're here to keep you informed, entertained, and connected to your fellow veterans.
With our dedicated team of broadcasters, we bring exclusive interviews with military leaders, insights into the latest strategies and technologies, and uplifting stories of bravery and sacrifice.
But that's not all. MBR is a nonprofit organization, meaning that every dollar you donate goes directly towards supporting our troops and their families, whether it's providing care packages, funding, scholarships, or offering mental health resources. Your support makes a difference.
With that, H Train, can you tell me a little bit about how MBR got started?
Well, in 2005, Jim Butler created it so that he could keep contacts with all of his pals over in Iraq. And then when 2018 came, he decided that it was time for him to retire. He was going to close up the station. And because we've had so many former DJs since 2005. I mean, it's pretty inspiring. We have at least 5 veterans in every single state, at
That's
least.
awesome.
And, it just brings us closer together. It creates a family, and it creates a family that we lost when we got back from Iraq. And
Remind you that every show is manned by a veteran or a first responder. That's amazing. I love what MBR is doing here. I love being a DJ here as well. Talk to people who have been through situations similar to yours. You're not alone. That's what we do here on MBR.
Yep. And it's nice because if you're not having a radio day and you're just having a bad day,
Or you don't have a face for radio. We just want to remind you that every show is manned by a veteran or a first responder. So if you've ever had a dog tag, you could be possibly on the show or create your own, as well as military dependents. Together, we'll stay strong, we stay informed, we stay connected. So visit our website and download our app today, MBR.
MBR, serving those who served while giving veterans a voice.
Brandon Stokely here, and I want to encourage every single one of y'all to keep grinding, keep fighting, keep practicing, keep getting those reps in, because that's what's important, right? Keep building, laying down that foundation, and keep working at it, keep practicing. No matter what the results you see right now, it doesn't matter what's going on right now. Look towards the future, and that's what it's all about. So keep working hard, keep practicing, keep getting those reps, and that's what's most important right now. So keep up the good work. Best of luck.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Aloha, welcome back. We are doing a series, Thriving After Surviving. We just communicated how to recognize trauma, those different stresses that occur, and now we're going to look at techniques to help reduce your stress. So let's talk about just managing stress and anxiety. These tips are provided by American Red Cross. A comfortable routine. Yes, after a traumatic event, getting ourselves and our lives back in a routine that is comfortable for us takes time. However, that routine can give you a sense of normalcy, can give you a sense of control. So start with those small steps of introducing, hey, at this time I'm going to be going for a walk, or at this time I'm going to contact family members. Set a routine for yourself. Take care of your safety. Find a safe place to stay and make sure your physical health needs and those of your family are addressed. And if necessary, seek the medical attention. Eat healthy and drink plenty of water. If possible, please get the healthy choices. During times of stress, it is so important that you maintain a balanced diet and drink plenty of water. Get some rest. With so much to do, it may be difficult to have enough time to rest or get adequate sleep, but giving your body and mind a break can boost your ability to cope with stress you may be experiencing. With any activity, especially when I start feeling overwhelmed and just cannot think it through, the minute I take that break, get myself away from the screen or away from the circumstances, I think so much clearer, and that aha moment pops up. But definitely get yourself rest. It is necessary, especially when you're under so much stress. Stay connected with family and friends. Giving support is one of the most important things you can do. There is a miracle wonder in helping. You feel capable of conquering circumstances. And that person who you're allowed to come into your circumstances, you make them feel that they're needed and appreciated. Be patient with yourself and those around you. Recognize that everyone is stressed and may need some time to put their feelings and thoughts in order also. Tackle tasks in small steps. Set your priorities. Have that checklist. It's something about check mark makes me feel accomplished in that day. It's that visual for myself. Gather information about assistance and resources that will help you and your family members meet your disaster related needs. Just I have a slogan: with a plan, you can. So, having that plan, you may not have to use all the resources, but knowing what's available can be a sense of security. Stay positive. Remind yourself of how you've successfully gotten through difficult times in the past. One tool that I lean on is reframing my thoughts. Oftentimes, when I reflect on events, my thoughts can sound like, I should have done more. Now, to release myself from that defeat, I reframe that thought to, I did my best in an impossible situation. Instead of being paralyzed by, I've lost everything, I encourage myself to move forward with, I've survived a major challenge and can rebuild. Uh, Journaling is also a thing that helps support my thoughts. As far as, yes, definitely writing about my circumstance, but also keeping track of when I've tackled those circumstances. So going back up with the follow up. So to remind myself that, hey, you've seen something similar before and you've overcome it, and look at where you're at right now. So reframing isn't about ignoring negative feelings. It's about finding a perspective that acknowledges the difficulty while also recognizing your strength. Also, deep breathing exercises are beneficial, and we're actually going to go over a routine after this slide. The mindfulness, just acknowledging where you're at, meditating, thinking on that progress, and releasing yourself from the stress. And regular physical exercise, definitely beneficial things to help reduce the stress. So, the exercise I would like to do is called cyclic sighing. It's a breathing technique that helps calm your mind and body, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed. This process, just describing the process, is doing an inhale deeply through your nose until your lungs feel full. Then you take a second sip of air, and that's just to fully expand you a little more. You're still doing this through your nose. Then you would exhale slowly through your mouth while making a noise. So it'll sound like this. I try to think of like a dragon or a bear, but yeah, exhaling. So I'm going to play a video of Dr. Andrew Hupperman, who explains the benefits of cyclic sighing as well as demonstrate this effective breathing technique. So this abbreviated video I'm going to share came from Awaken Mindscape.
Offloads a lot of carbon dioxide all at once. And the way it works is the following. Our lungs are not just two big bags of air. We have all these little millions of sacs of air that if we were to lay them out flat, they would be as big as about a tennis court or so. The volume of air, therefore, and the volume of carbon dioxide that we can offload is tremendously high, except that we get stressed as carbon dioxide builds up in our bloodstream, and it's kind of a double whammy. These little sacs deflate. Now, when we do a double inhale, so I'll do this now twice through my nose, or you could do this, or you could do it through your mouth, but it works best through the nose. It's inhale, and then you sneak a little bit more air in at the very end. When you do that, you reinflate those little sacs. And when you exhale, then you discard all the carbon dioxide at once. So the simple way to describe this protocol is that unless you are underwater, you do a double inhale followed by an extended exhale, and you offload the maximum amount of carbon dioxide. And we found in our laboratory, and other laboratories have found, that just 1, 2, or 3 of those physiological size brings your level of stress down very, very fast. And it's a tool that you can use anytime. I do hope that people will kind of watch other people or dogs as they start to relax or go down to sleep. You'll see this pattern of breathing, but again, it can be consciously driven. The other thing about breathing, and the reason why exhales are so vital, is the following. I know there's a lot of interest nowadays in heart rate variability. Well, most people don't realize this, but your breathing is actually driving heart rate variability. So when you inhale, this dome-shaped muscle beneath your lungs, your diaphragm, actually moves down because the lungs expand, it moves down. When you do that, you create more space in the thoracic cavity, and the heart gets a little bigger, it actually expands. As a consequence, blood flows more slowly through that larger volume, and the brain quickly sends a signal down to the heart to speed the heart up. The short, simple version of this is inhales speed the heart up. When you exhale, the opposite is true. That dome-shaped muscle, the diaphragm, moves up. The space in your thoracic cavity gets a little bit smaller. The heart gets a little bit smaller. Blood moves more quickly through that small volume, and the brain sends a signal to the heart to slow the heart down. Physicians know this as respiratory sinus arrhythmia, but this is the basis of what we call HRV, heart rate variability. And the simple way to remember this is anytime you emphasize exhales, in other words, making them longer than your inhales, you are slowing the heart rate down, you're calming your system. Anytime you emphasize inhales, you make them more vigorous or longer than your exhales, you're speeding up your heart.
Okay, so we are beginning the exercise. It's going to be 2 inhales, 1 long exhale. Inhale, short inhale, exhale. Inhale, short inhale, exhale. Inhale, short inhale, exhale. Inhale, short inhale, exhale. All right. Tell me in the comments, how did that feel if you were able to do the exercise? I do recommend you do it at your own pace. If that felt too quick for you, slow it down, do it at your own pace. But as the doctor stated, just incorporating 1 to 3 of those cyclic sighing can be very beneficial to your health, as well as reduce stress, put you in a state of calmness. So after we come back from the commercial break, we will be talking about resources that are available locally, as well as the national resources available for your mental health.
Been home about 6 months now, and I still have my doubts. Well, I'm not sure how I got here or how I'm gonna get out. Well, my mama says I look the same as I did before I left. But if she could see inside of me, it would scare her to death. I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, "Run, soldier, run!" And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God, it weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. Well, they taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it off. Last Saturday they honored us in a small parade downtown. And when they shot off those fireworks, I nearly hit the ground. And while they smiled and cheered for us, all I could do was stare. 'Cause part of me is here at home, but part of me's back there. Well, I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, "Run, soldier, run!" And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God, it weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. They taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it off. Yeah, there's no end in sight. 'Cause even though I'm home now, I'm still fighting for my life. Well, I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, "Run, soldier, run!" And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God, it weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. Well, they taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it off. Well, the devil's won some battles, and he may win some more. But don't he know the American soldier will always win the war?
Stats tell that each day, 22 veterans commit suicide due to PTSD. These stats shook us and urged us to do our part. After hours and hours of thinking, Beekeeping for Veterans was born. Beekeeping for Veterans combines beekeeping with mindfulness meditation. Why combine them? Here's why. Beekeeping causes positive rush of adrenaline while beekeeping. You have to be calm during it. You are mindful of your movements. Each week, a veteran will receive a mindful meditation to build emotional and mental skill sets. Mindfulness is a set of 3 attentional skills that work together: concentration, sensory clarity, and equanimity, mental calmness, composure, evenness of temper. Every time mindfulness is practiced, we build these skills. Beekeeping for Veterans not only helps veterans overcome emotional trauma, but also aids our environment, as without bees, there is no food. Come forward. The people who have supported your country now need your support.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.
Aloha and huya. Welcome back to the podcast series, Thriving After Surviving. I'm Coach C. Earlier, before the commercial break, we talked about different ways to manage your stress. While those techniques can help, it's crucial to recognize when you need professional support. If you're struggling to cope, experiencing persistent nightmares, or having difficulty with daily tasks, please reach out to a mental health professional. There's no shame in seeking help. It's a sign of strength. So now we're going to discuss those different resources that are available to you locally, even some national organizations. When you are seeking those support groups, these support groups can be very beneficial to just your circumstance. And we discussed the FEMA disaster recovery centers as well as that disaster distress helpline. You have local faith-based organizations and voluntary agencies, as well as state-specific crisis counseling services. So connecting to these support groups can be incredibly beneficial. These groups will offer a space to share experiences and resources with others who understand what you're going through. Please remember, you're not alone in this. So I'm going to highlight a couple different resources out there. For instance, we have the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. There's a couple different links or numbers you can contact. So treatment.gov is a space where you can find treatment centers for any type of mental or substance use disorder. Those 3 digits, 988. Whenever you or someone you know is struggling or in any type of crisis, that help is available. There's trained professionals waiting for you, waiting to support you. And a disaster distress helpline, 1-800-985-5990 is another space you can find crisis counselors there to help you through any emotional distress. As well as the National Helpline, 1-800-662-HELP, 1-800-662-4357. And again, these helplines are open to anyone experiencing emotional distress that's related to disasters. So that can include survivors of disasters, loved ones of victims, first responders, those rescue, recovery, and relief workers, clergy, parents, and caregivers. You can call for yourself or on the behalf of someone else. Just know help is available. There is a disability disaster hotline. This is brought to you by the Partnership for Inclusive Disaster Strategies. The phone number is 1-800-626-4959, or you can contact hotline at disasterstrategies.org. So this hotline provides information, referrals, guidance, technical assistance, and resources to people with disabilities, families of them, as well as allies or, or organizations assisting with disaster impact individuals with disabilities. So, if you're seeking assistance with immediate or urgent disaster related needs, please contact this number 1-800-626-4959. So, in North Carolina, there are a couple different links available to you. One is a Vega Health Behavioral Health Crisis, 1-800-849-6127. Of course, you can call 988. 988. Those are some great 3 digits that will give you access to mental health support from trained professionals. North Carolina also has a peer warm line at 1-855-733-7762. This line will connect you with a fellow peer who's living in recovery from either mental health or substance use issues. So there's no shame in receiving help. These people are using their experience to share with you what helped them get out of it, as well as support you with understanding your circumstance. Another resource in North Carolina is Hope for NC. So, what's special about this is it is clearly designated to support first responders and volunteers to have this mental health resource. It's like when and where they need them. So, if you are a first responder, a volunteer experiencing stress, emotional fatigue, a mental health crisis, or just need someone to talk to, you can call Hope for NC 1-855-587-3463. So Florida has a information line, the SAIL, the State Assistance Information Line. It's 1-800-342-3557. During emergencies, this hotline is operational. is at set hours depending on just the severity of the event. So log on to the www.floridadisaster.org to see the exact times of operations. Another thing to note about this hotline is that it is activated at the time of an emergency to provide additional resources for those in Florida so they can receive accurate and up-to-date information regarding an emergency or disaster. And it includes how to prepare before, during, and after a hurricane, as well as the road closures and alternate routes to take. It lists out available and open shelters, as well as shelters for special needs patients. Tells you about hotels and motels that accept pets. It gives boaters instructions for moving back inland, and it also gives re-entry information once it's safe to return to the affected area. So again, 1-800-342-3557. Okay, so after the commercial break, we will come back, regroup, see you after commercial.
Another regular day, nobody knows. It's that time, he's coming home to them from a foreign land. He pulls up, his mama cries, looks at daddy with tears in his eyes and says, nothing feels better than this. Couple of months go by and no one sees. Something just ain't right, all he wants is peace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free and put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again. He gets help, but he still feels off, sees an ad on the TV about a dog batting said, this is a man's best friend. Whoa, so he goes one day and he picks it up. Never thought a dog could bring so much love and put a smile on his face. But he's finally found a saving grace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again. Whoa, whoa. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can make 22-0 again.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Aloha and hoo-yah. I'm Coach C, and we are concluding the Thriving After Surviving series for processing trauma. As we conclude, I want to remind you that recovery is possible. We talked about ways of recognizing the signs and shared a couple techniques to help reduce your stress. And of course, when it does feel too overwhelming, seek help. We talked about a couple different organizations that provide mental health support. So, you've already shown incredible strength by surviving the hurricane. Now let's work together to help you thrive. And if you can't remember all the numbers and websites I shared, please remember these 3 numbers. Don't hesitate to call 911 in emergencies. If you feel like harming yourself or someone else, please call 988 for suicide and crisis support. And for everything else, be it food, shelter, clothing, diapers, facilities to go have activities with the family, call 211 for those resources. So remember, this is just the beginning of your journey towards healing and growth. Mental health is just as important as physical health. And helping yourself or a friend through a tough time can be a powerful way to not only show friendship and support to your friends, but be that to yourself also. Again, I'm Coach C. I'm here to support you. Please lean on your community. Everyone is available for you. Until next week, stay blessed and visible. See you next Saturday at 8 a.m. Central.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.